Eagles fans everywhere, welcome to our continuing coverage of Philadelphia Eagles Training Camp 2020, presented by Independence Blue Cross here at the NovaCare Complex. I'm Eagles insider Dave Spadaro on this Monday morning. It's a hot one here in South Philadelphia, joined by Fran Duffy. Fran, good to see you again this morning.
Dave, great to see you as well.
Looking forward to this one and looking forward to that guy right there, Dallas Goedert. What a professional he is and what a performer he is in this Eagles offense. Last year, his second with the Eagles, 58 receptions, 607 yards, 5 touchdowns. He and Zach Ertz, Fran, combined for 146 catches, 1,523 yards, and 11 touchdowns. And then on the defensive side, we've got Avonte Maddox in the spotlight, third-year man from Pittsburgh. And at this point, Fran, the leading contender to start opposite Darius Slay.
Those two very good friends off the field, roommates. And when you look at both those guys, huge impact players on both sides of the ball. Avonte Maddox, Jim Schwartz talked about him today as the starter opposite big play Slay, and just talked about the toughness he brings to the field, his versatility, everything he's done throughout his career in an Eagles uniform.
And you mentioned that Avonte and Dallas are literally best buddies.
Yeah.
They were brought together by a player from the Vikings, same agents, pre-draft period. They end up in Philadelphia together, and they have been inseparable since then, going through those early career ups and downs. And I think the love that they both have for each other has really helped them reach this point. And then, of course, is big play Slay, number 24. I think he's looked very good in training camp here, friend. I really enjoy watching he and Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
And it's just as fast as Deshaun Jackson is, he's running great routes. He's catching every football. But Slay, the addition of an impact cornerback, changes everything in the secondary.
He had an interception in the end zone yesterday that he took back that would have gone 4 or 6 points if it was in live action, if it was in a game. Big interception, one of his bigger plays of camp. And, what I love most about Darius Slay is that he's one of those guys who understands the process of camp and understands that it's a long game. It's not about, I have to fight on every single play and get every single ball on the ground. He's coaching up all the young guys. He's taking care of his teammates, not just on defense, but on offense as well. There was a play where he went up actually with Dallas Goedert yesterday very early in practice. And, yeah, if it was a game, he's probably going up and fighting for that ball a little bit harder, but he knows Dallas Goedert just coming back from injury. I'm not going to go up and try and take this guy's head off. I'm going to ease up a little bit and play the long game here.
You notice we've got all these different camera angles, boom, 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 coming at you very quickly. Make sure that you download the official Philadelphia Eagles mobile app so that you can view all of these individual camera feeds in the palm of your hands. We're at the NovaCare Complex every morning through Thursday, 10:30, so make sure you spend some time with us and get a little peek as the curtain opens for 30 minutes or so. And we get a taste of what the 2020 Philadelphia Eagles are all about. Dave Spadaro, Eagles insider, Fran Duffy, host of the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast, as well as Journey to the Draft, and Jason Kelsey just saying, heck with it, I'm going to go without a shirt today. Just look at my belly, 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 belly.
He's got to make up for it after wearing the jerseys the last couple of practices. I got to imagine he's lost a good amount of weight, sweating some of that stuff off. But you see the number 11 there, Carson Wentz, obviously the most important guy on this team.
Interesting to hear Jim Schwartz this morning talk about Vinny Curry bringing the energy off the edge. Solid season in 2019 for Vinny, 5 sacks, tied for the team lead with Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, combined quarterback hurries and hits. And I think is going to play a very key role, Fran. We do believe the Eagles want to have depth, and more depth coming off the edge.
Yep, he was a guy that, honestly signed very late in the summer, right before the start of camp. Eagles know what they're getting with Vinny Curry. Very first play of training camp, first time he's out there, explodes into the backfield, makes a play behind the line of scrimmage in the run game. The Eagles fans know what to expect, coaches know what to expect, teammates know what to expect from Vinny Curry, number 75.
So today's practice, we don't anticipate live contact. We think that is coming Thursday.
I believe so.
But we want to show you what's happening with the Eagles as they get ready for their full pads workout today. Now, the offensive line. You've read about it. The defensive line certainly has had the better of the offensive line at times here.
That guy.
Yeah, Malik Jackson has looked terrific. But let's go back to the offensive line because I'll tell you, Fran, when you look out there right now, okay, Andre Dillard is not wearing pads today. All right? Is Lane Johnson out there?
Not seeing Lane in that picture.
Yeah. Is JP out there?
JP does not appear to be on that. He's not in that picture right now either. Looks like a bunch of the backups there working with Coach Stoutland.
So, and these players, while they are backups, there's JP.
Here he is.
So important to develop that depth for the first time in many, many years here. Eagles don't have the luxury of 6, 7, 8 starting quality offensive linemen at this point.
Yep.
They need to develop young players like number 63, Jack Driscoll, in a hurry. And when you open the season against a team like the Washington football team and that fearsome defensive front, the line of scrimmage, so important.
So important. And this guy knows it as well as anybody, Jason Peters. He knows what Washington is going to bring to the field. One of the better defensive lines, certainly a very young, energetic group of defensive linemen down there in the nation's capital. To me, Dave, one of the things you talked about, some of these young guys, and we've continued to see flashes of some of them. You know, I was over there checking out the O-line, D-line one-on-ones. I talked about this sequence on the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast. We do our daily practice recaps fueled by Gatorade over there, and I was talking about this with Chris McPherson and Ben Fennell. There was a moment yesterday I thought was really cool with Jack Driscoll. Goes up against Fletcher Cox, and now Fletcher Cox baptized Jack Driscoll last week on a one-on-one rep, just obliterated, ran right through him, showed off that power. It's why he's an all-pro. This week, they go up one-on-one, and Driscoll hits him with a strong punch early, kind of shocked Fletcher Cox, and they have a good rep after. It was kind of a stalemate. The rest of the defensive line all praising Jack Driscoll, and afterwards, Fletcher Cox gave him like the attaboy, patted him on the helmet, and gave him the shoulder pads after. Just an example of the kind of reps you like to see from these young players getting better day after day.
This is our live coverage of Eagles Training Camp 2020 at the NovaCare Complex, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Dave Spadaro, Eagles Insider, along with Fran Duffy. And we've been enjoying this for the last week here, Fran, just getting a sense of what the Eagles are all about. Of course, once they get into their team portion of practice, and we don't want to give Washington or the Rams or the Bengals any sense of formations or personnel usage, so we usually go the first 20 or 30 minutes. And it's interesting, today in the Eagles Insider podcast that will come out, there he is, the belly, Jason Peters, who in recent days has worn the Philadelphia Flyers jersey under his jersey, as well as the Kobe Bryant jersey, high school jersey. Today he's just going to go au naturel. But I talked to Doug about no fans at practice. And have you noticed, we talked about this a bit yesterday, have you noticed the intensity of the team while they're not getting that energy from the fans? And how will that translate to the regular season? And it's certainly something to watch.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely something to be able to watch. And you're going to have to bring that energy. It's a very college thing where, you know, you'll hear that a lot with college teams where it's like, you know, we need our sideline to bring that energy because you're not going to get it from the fans in the stands. So those guys, you know, if the offense is on the field, the backups on offense and the defense, when they're not, you know, figuring things out on the bench, and they have to be there providing energy to their teammates. From what we've seen at camp, I don't think that's going to be an issue with this team. I feel like they are bringing the juice every single day, especially on the defensive side of the football.
Hey, Eagles fans in this area on Thursday, do not miss our all-access look at practice at 7 o'clock p.m. on NBC 10, followed by a re-air of the 2017 divisional round playoff matchup with the Atlanta Falcons at Lincoln Financial Field. Last-minute win. Jalen Mills makes the play. Eagles win, Eagles win, Eagles win! And, of course, the following week, Minnesota Vikings. 2 weeks after that, Fran, Super Bowl 52.
This guy had a big sack, first play of the fourth quarter, Rodney McLeod, of that Falcons game, so you can make sure you keep an eye out for that. First play of the fourth quarter. It was a huge, huge play in the game, changed field position.
All right, so let's take a look at that O-line. What do we got lined up here? We got Jason Peters at right guard. Is Jason Kelsey, are we still working backups here? Yeah, we're still working backups.
It looks like JP's just getting some extra reps in.
I don't see Lane.
No, still don't see Lane out there. He was out there yesterday.
Yes, he was out there yesterday. I'm just trying to account for each position.
Sure.
We don't get the injury report until a little bit here. And then Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz looks like he's 15 years old. Man, I wish I could grow my hair back like that.
I hear you, man.
He's got a do now. Instead of the buzz cut, he's got the Ertz do. How do you do, Zach Ertz? Part of a dynamic 1-2 tandem. Zach Ertz looks like Zach Ertz in training camp. I think that's all that needs to be said here, Fran.
Yep, he missed, a day or two, but it's good to see him back on the field yesterday. It was certainly a big part of the offense. Caught a few passes from that guy, number 11.
Let's talk about the rotation at the quarterback position. It remains Carson Wentz, number 1, of course, the franchise. Number 2, Nate Sudfeld, who re-signed with the Eagles in the offseason, a 1-year deal. And then our third quarterback, Jalen Hurts, continuing to develop. As we look at the draft class of 2020, Jalen Reagor catching punt after punt after punt. One of the dynamic return men in all of college football. Averaged nearly 21 yards per punt return at TCU last year, Fran. And the Eagles really want to give him a chance to earn their trust and win that job and make the punt return game dynamic.
And you saw him there after that rep, working with Darren Sproles on the sideline, one of the best returners in the history of the game. So obviously huge to have that kind of influence in your ear every time you go to the sideline. As you see Greg Ward get some reps at punt return as well.
Yeah, and Greg Ward, very reliable catching the football. He'll get up the field a bit. Not explosive, you'd say.
That's fair.
Not as big play return guy as Jalen Reagor potentially will be. As Cameron Johnston, part of the operation on special teams, back intact. One of the reasons coordinator Dave Phipp feels so good about things. With Rick Lovato, the Pro Bowl long snapper, Cameron Johnston, the punter, and Jake Elliott, all back. And that can make a difference with so much, Fran, uncertain offensively, defensively, around the league. It's great to know that the Eagles have what they've had in the special teams game. Look at the Giants just signing a kicker. I mean, there's just you don't want to have turnover and uncertainty there.
Dave, can I ask you a question? Has there been a receiver here in Philly that is built like Reagor, where he's, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", but he's thick, he's strong, he's rocked up. Has there been a guy that has that kind of juice vertically, the ability to be a big play guy, but also just as physically imposing? I mean, you could see him up close there. Just a really imposing guy.
Well, I mean, it's probably because he has the same jersey number, but he doesn't look all that dissimilar to Jeremy Maclin.
Right, yep.
I mean, and remember, Jeremy Maclin blew out the knee. So Jeremy Maclin was a very explosive player, productive player, first-round draft pick. Otherwise, boy. You want to go all the way back to, like, Irving Fryer?
That was the name I was going to bring up. That was the name I was going to bring up to you.
I mean, Irving Fryer had some look, he's no T.O.
Right.
T.O. was an Adonis.
A physical marvel, yeah.
You wanted T.O. to come out in the leggings just to say, wow, how could you cram so many muscles into your hamstring and quads and, but yeah, this kid, and what I noticed him yesterday in the red zone drills, very quick feet, sharp, decisive route running, caught the football, using his body well. So he's off to a good start.
One of the questions people had about him was, defeating press coverage, because in the Big 12 where he played, he didn't see a ton of press coverage. And so, seeing him down in the red zone, he got pressed a little bit down inside the 20-yard line. Really quick and smooth off the line of scrimmage, and was able to get open, was wide open for a touchdown pass in the back corner. So you kind of saw, just because he wasn't asked to do it in college doesn't mean he can't do it in the NFL. It's very similar to, the questions people had about Dallas Goedert as a blocker coming from South Dakota State. Oh, well, we didn't see him block. He wasn't used as a blocker. He can't do it. Well, no, he wasn't asked to do it. He comes here and within 2 years was one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL last year.
We're continuing our coverage here of the Philadelphia Eagles 2020 training camp at the NovaCare Complex, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Dave Spadaro, Eagles Insider, along with Fran Duffy. And we'll be live until they tell us to shut it down from now through Thursday, 10:30 each morning. Grab a cup of coffee, glass of orange juice, sing Fly, Eagles, Fly. You know, that's what I want, Fran. I want the players to sing Fly, Eagles, Fly. Enough of this rookie standing up doing their fight song. Give me the Fly, Eagles, Fly. Show me something.
I'd like
you can
that.
remember all these plays. Sing the fight song.
I like that. I like that idea.
I'm gonna talk to Coach Doug next time.
Run that up the ladder.
I'm gonna see. I don't think it's gonna go very far, but I'll run it up the ladder. It'll be like, Dave, I got enough to worry about.
You see J.J. Arcega-Whiteside on the right side of our screen next to Cam Johnson. I thought J.J. had a really good day yesterday
So did
as
I.
well.
And really, the day before, which was Friday,
The scrimmage was really
I thought
good.
he looked good too.
Yeah.
Had not noticed him necessarily prior to that. Had been banged up a little bit, lower body injury.
Yep.
But I definitely think J.J. Arcega-Whiteside looks faster, quicker, more explosive.
Yep, and sharper with his route running too. I thought that really stood out to me yesterday. And he had, in the scrimmage, we saw him go up and win in those 50-50 situations. We saw him go to the ground and come away with big catches. That's what we expected. Now let's see him improve in certain areas, and we've seen that.
And you can hear from J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, my exclusive one-on-one with him today when the Eagles Insider podcast drops. Exclusive one-on-one with Coach Doug, and then we highlight the 4 players from the 2019 Eagles draft who are on the roster. Let's go through them. Andre Dillard,
Yeah.
projected as the starting left tackle. Don't like to see him missing practice time, so
Sure.
we'll get an update for you on the website, on our official app, and through our social channels today on his status. Miles Sanders still not practicing, but obviously a key part of what's ahead here with this offense.
On the verge of stardom for sure.
Yes. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside has some competition.
Yep.
3 draft picks from 2020. But he's certainly risen to the occasion with an incredible work ethic in the offseason. And then defensive end Sharif Miller, Fran, who I think,
He's had a solid summer so
I
far,
think
right?
he stepped up a bit here, but I think there's competition
Yeah.
at defensive end.
We talked about that yesterday, the defensive end rotation. Can I say one of the things I love about this shot, too? Talking about J.J. and what we saw from him. On every single one of these reps with the punt team, you see him in the background just kind of practicing on his own, working the same reps. And to me, if you're going to be a backup receiver on this team, you're guaranteeing yourself to be active on game day and to have a part on the offense if you can be an active special teams performer. And the Eagles are going to lose some guys who gave them a lot of special teams reps in the past couple of years. Nate Gary is going to see an increased role on defense. Someone has to take those snaps from him on special teams. If you're a backup receiver, you've got to be able to contribute there. And I think with JJ, obviously competing for a starting role, he's running with the first team at wide receiver. But with how often those guys are rotated in and out, you'd like those guys to contribute on special teams in one way, shape, or form. Jalen Reagor doing it as a returner. You want JJ to be able to offer that up in coverage and blocking as well.
And I really think the 2020 draft class, that's where you're going to get a lot of special teams players potentially.
Yeah,
You know, the Sean Bradleys, the Davion Taylors,
for sure.
Kayvon Wallaces of the world, as we check out Zach Ertz on the left, Deshaun Jackson on the right. Loved what I saw yesterday from Deshaun. Good connection with Carson Wentz, working a lot against Darius. Big play, Slay.
Speed has not wavered with Deshaun Jackson. He looks every bit the Deshaun that we all know and love. Punt gunner's working on downing the ball inside the 5-yard line on the sidelines.
How do you think Jalen Hurts has looked? I look at Jalen and I see a young quarterback still developing,
Yep.
still one read and look to run kind of guy at this point.
For sure, and I think that is something that quarterbacks in today's game have the ability to do that a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more accepted and embraced by coaches around the league now than 5, 6, 8 years ago. But I think Jalen certainly ways to improve, and that's why in his current situation as the number 3 quarterback, perfect for him.
And the Eagles continuing their warm-ups here at the NovaCare Complex. This is our continuing coverage of Eagles Training Camp 2020, presented by Independence Blue Cross. And If you'd like to watch all of these different angles at your preference, make sure you download that Philadelphia Eagles official mobile app, and you can have all of these camera feeds in the palm of your hands. Jason Peters making the untraditional move, going from left tackle to right guard. Fran, hard to really tell how he's doing. When the Eagles coaches talk about it, they say, as we see Matt Pryor taking reps at right tackle, you go, okay, JP, great athlete, knows the offense. Transition it's going to be difficult, no doubt. But for somebody like him in this truncated period, this is why you bring Jason Peters back. Hard to bring somebody from the outside in at this point, for sure, in such a short training camp.
And he obviously knows the whole scheme. He knows the coaches. The coaches know him. The players know him. Jeff Statland talked earlier this summer about all the players saying, yeah, if anyone can make that move, it is a challenging move, but if anyone can do that, it's Jason Peters.
Rodney McLeod, one of the leaders of a new look secondary. Looks like special teams breaking up now. And we'll move into a different phase as Jason Kelly with the bare midriff in this Monday practice. Can't be too comfortable, right?
Can't
kind of an odd tan lines. Do you think does he put sunscreen on his belly and back?
I feel like that's a question that needs to be answered on an upcoming Eagles Insider podcast.
I'm going to guess the answer is no. But it is a Jason Kelce look, and we love it all. In the huddle, Carson Wentz, Boston Scott, Jason Kelce, Isaac Seumalo, Jordan Mailata.
Left tackle, yeah.
Lining up a left tackle. Interesting. Fran, today, the Eagles are going with Jordan Mailata, Isaac Seumalo, Jason Kelce, Jason Peters, Matt Pryor.
That's the look right now. And so getting an idea of, okay, and we've seen all the different combinations, so just seeing how these guys are all working. We've seen Nate Herbig worked in there. We've seen some of the young guys, some of the other rookies worked in there. It's very interesting to see as they try and account for all these different scenarios. If one guy's out, what does it look like? That's what camp is for.
And I think that this is what we're going to see around the league. Offensive lines taking some time to come together.
Yep.
They missed all of those spring reps. And let's face it, the offensive line is a discipline of repetitions, choreographed dancing. If you don't have that time together, I wonder early in the regular season around the league, will we see a lot of quarterback sacks? Will we see low-scoring games? Will we see the defenses dominating, the pitchers ahead of the hitters?
You could make the same analogy to the defensive secondary, where communication is so key, trust is so key, and those guys having to, those reps to be able to work with each other, talk things out before the snap, after the snap, just having trust in each other. The Eagles obviously working in a couple of new pieces. Darius Slay, Jalen Mills moving inside to safety. I'll tell you what, the secondary has looked really, really good so far early in camp. So I'm excited about what that group can bring as this guy, number 23, Rodney McLeod, certainly one of the anchors back there on the back end.
I had Rodney in an interview last week, and I asked him if he felt underrated. He's really been an accomplished safety in the league.
Oh, yeah.
For a kid who was not drafted. Plays with the Rams, comes here, solid. And he kind of said, yeah, I feel a little bit underrated. It's a very interesting answer because I happen to agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There are a few analysts that'll say that he's one of the best safeties in the league, and I agree, he is up there.
See number 93, Javon Hargrave, in uniform, but not in pads.
Correct.
Will Parks, jack of all trades kind of player, with his defense signed after 4 years with the Denver Broncos. Germantown High School, Philly kid, back home with the Philadelphia Eagles.
A joy to watch every day at practice. One of my favorite guys to be able to watch out there up close.
And I will tell you this, yesterday watching him and Rager in the goal line, Rager has some moves.
Yeah.
Rager.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rager's got some moves. Rager's got something. He's got a lot of something.
How good is it to be able to see, like, the early picks just come out and just look the part right off the bat?
Just look like they belong.
Yes,
We're not
exactly.
projecting here. We don't
Yep.
know what's going to happen. The regular season is a totally different game than practice. We're just talking practice.
Yep.
Caleb Wilson, number 83, signed after being, I guess, claimed after being released by the Washington football team. Good career at UCLA.
Yep.
Son of former Eagles defensive line coach Chris Wilson.
He was there for the Super Bowl win.
Yes, he was. Jeff Stoutland with one of the, interesting challenges of his career. In warp speed here, trying to develop young players. Not easy to do. Let's see a set from JP. There you go.
Strong
Get your
punch
hands
there.
out there,
That's
yeah.
Right.
Shoots those hands. Got the hands a little high.
All right.
Hope the ref doesn't see that one.
Exactly right. I'll tell you, the kid that he punched there, Julian Good-Jones, he's had some flashes. Undrafted rookie free agent from Iowa State. He's had some flashes so far.
Prince Tiga Wanago, left tackle. Good footwork. Held down by a bad knee at Auburn.
Really good athlete, impressive athlete.
Working against another extraordinary athlete here in Jordan Mailata. Mailata is making the spin move there, showing the part of the defensive end.
So Connor Barwin is talking with Jason Kelsey there, that we saw. He just got
Yep.
off the screen. I remember when Connor Barwin did one of those fake spin moves in a game and got a sack off it. I want to say it might have been against the Rams at the Link when it was 2014 maybe. Great move. You don't see it work that often, but Connor was able to pull it off.
Who did I see doing it the other day in practice? Somebody was doing it the other day also. Not as successfully.
It's a tough move to
but
pull
that's
off.
that's what training camp practice
Exactly
is for.
right. You see a lot of these guys. Well, that was actually one of the things that stood out to me yesterday watching the O-line, D-line 101s is, you know how it is with the vets. Like the guys that are established, usually it's 1 rep, maybe 2 reps, and then it's like, all right, it's all, I've had enough, all the young guys can go. Malik Jackson, he finishes a rep, goes right back to the front. He wants another one, and he's going to line up against a different player from a different spot, try a different rush move. He's always looking to get better.
I really feel Malik has been pretty dominating at times in this training camp. This is our continuing coverage of Eagles Training Camp 2020 here at the NovaCare Complex, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Insider Dave Spadaro with you, along with Fran Duffy, and we're here every morning through Thursday. And then the players have Friday and Saturday off. And then, geez, we're right there.
We're in the thick of it.
Yeah. We'll be 2 weeks away from the regular season opener. I believe the cut-down date, Fran, is September 5th, when the rosters must get reduced to 53, 4 p.m. that day. Yeah, September 5th is the day. So, I mean, as long as we have waited for Eagles football, that's how fast this training camp has flown by.
It's going to get really real, really fast.
Eagles have some young cornerbacks that they like, that they want to see more of. They want to see tested by Carson Wentz, Nate Sudfeld, Jalen Hurts, and what I would call a very promising group of wide receivers. Still without Alshon Jeffrey. Derek Barnett still not practicing. Javon Hargrave still not practicing. We didn't see Lane Johnson out there today. We saw in jersey but no pads the who was it we saw there on the offense?
We saw on the offensive line.
It was
Dillard.
Dillard, yeah. Thank you. Little brain cramp there. We've been watching a lot of the same stuff for the last week and a half, but it's fun.
It's football.
It's the only thing missing here, and we miss you so much, Eagles fans. The energy that you bring. Look, I've been here so many years, all the way back to the days of training camp at Westchester University, Lehigh University. The fans would just make a pilgrimage. And then those who came to the NovaCare Complex, a special occasion for them. Great energy. You don't have that energy here. But I think the practices have been spirited, intense, crisp. And I think this Eagles football team, some concern areas, no doubt. Some injuries for sure you want to monitor. This Eagles football team's good, Fran.
Good team. Yeah, it's been a good summer so far. I miss Rita's too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, that will do it for this Monday with our continuing coverage of Eagles Training Camp 2020 presented by Independence Blue Cross. We're back tomorrow at 10:30. Make sure you join us then. For Fran Duffy, I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have yourselves a great Eagles day, and fly, Eagles, fly.